Hello everyone, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. Welcome back to our Merchant Navy Decoded Job channel. And today's date is 14 February 2025. So let's start with our first job opening for chief officers. So there is an opening in Anglo-Extensive Panel for their Delhi office. They require bulk carrier mate license with good promotion prospectus for second officer. So if you have cleared your chief mate phase 1, phase 2 exam, so there is an opportunity for you apply here, and there is an opportunity there that you will directly get the promotion on ship on bulk carriers. Then BSM Bernard Sulte Ship Management required chief officer for their VLCC very large crude carriers. They required for their Handymax bulk carrier. They required for their VLOC bulk carrier or carriers here. They required 12 month of rank experience. Contract period will be 4 plus minus, and joining date will be March 2025. Then Blue Fortune Ship Management required chief officer for their oil tanker. Relevant experience is mandatory over here. Bernard Sulte Ship Management required chief officer for their oil tanker also. So there's lots of opening for chief officer in BSM. They required minimum 28 month of rank experience with US C1D visa is mandatory over here. Columbia Order Ship Management required chief officer for their container ships. Relevant expenses mandatory here. Columbia Order Ship Management required chief officer for their gas carriers. So there is lots of requirement in Columbia Order Ship Management for Anglo-Eastern and in BSM. So share your CV by today itself. For sharing your CV, you need to join our WhatsApp channel for daily updates. So every day हम लोग रोज जॉब अपडेट्स खोज रहे हैं आपके लिए फॉर एवरी रैंक. सो गो थ्रू आवर व्हाट्सएप चैनल मर्चेंट नेवी जॉब अपडेट्स. फॉर हाउ टू गो आई लेट यू नो इन दिस वीडियो. सो वॉच दिस वीडियो. So what are the job opening for second officer today? So Anglo-Eastern Delhi office, they required for chief officer, they required for second officer also, they required for their bulk carrier. So if you have mate license, if you have second mate COC and have some experience as a third officer and want promotion, so there is an opportunity for you here. Then Admiral Marine Service required second officer for their bulk carrier, takeover vessel. Relevant rank experience is mandatory over here. COC from India, UK, Singapore or Panama COC is also mandatory over here. But we prefer Indian and UK COC. And joining will be very soon, means before end of this February you will get the joining. So share your CV today itself. For sharing your CV, you need to click on this yellow button, this blue button. How to click on this button? You need to go through our WhatsApp channel, Merchant Navy Job Updates. For going through that, you need to go through your WhatsApp, go through channel section, find channels, find Merchant Navy Job Updates. On the first tab itself, our channel will come. Follow us by today and found this link, apply by today and wait for the response. And please let them know you got to know from Merchant Navy Decoded Jobs. So you will get preference. We have already mentioned all the email and messages. After clicking on these buttons, it will redirect to the person number, person email, and there we have already redirect message will also come. Hi, my name is this. I'm applying for this vessel. I'm applying for this vessel. I'm applying in this company, and I got to know from Merchant Navy Decoded Jobs. So share your CV and wait for the response. Let's move ahead with our third officer because 110 people got job opportunities. Let's move ahead with our third officer job opening. Anglo-Eastern Delhi office required chief officer, second officer, now third officer also. For their bulk carrier, very large crude carriers, product tankers, oil and chemical tanker. They required relevant certification, means they required relevant certification, means they required DC, oil and chemical DC. Then experience over here. So if you have experience on your COC, on your DCE as a third officer on this type of vessel, not on bulk carrier, because for bulk carrier there is no requirement of DCE. Let's move ahead with our next job opening. That is Bernard Sulte Ship Management. They required third officer for their Handymax bulk carrier as well as for their VLOC bulk carrier. What is VLOC? They required for their Handymax and VLOC bulk carrier. Minimum 6 months of rank experience is mandatory over here, and US C1D visa is mandatory here. So share your CV here. Then again BSM required for their LNG carrier. They required gas DCE with minimum 8 months of rank experience as third officer on LNG ships. Then Admiral Marine Service Private Limited required third officer for their bulk carrier takeover vessel. Relevant experience is mandatory over here. Columbia Order Ship Management required third officer for their container ships. Relevant experience is mandatory over here. So share your CV by today itself. For sharing your CV, just go through our WhatsApp channel. And अभी तक आपने हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं करा तो सब्सक्राइब us by today. And please comment it below कि आपको ये वीडियो कैसा लगा and for which all rank we have not mentioned the job dates. Please comment it below. We'll come with the next video with next such updates. We'll try to find for those ranks also. Let's move ahead with our next job opening for chief engineer today. What are the job opening for chief engineer? So there is one opening in C Scout Global Private Limited. They require chief engineer for their gear bulk carrier. Experience they require is 12 to 18 months of rank experience on bulk carriers. Joining will be immediately. So there is a hot job opening for you. So share your CV today itself. And if you'd like to know more about this thing, on Insta also, so follow us by today, Merchant Navy Decoded _jobs. Let's move ahead with our second engineer job opening. For second engineers, there is an opening in Bernard Sulte Ship Management. They required second engineer for their VLGC, very large gas carriers. They required for VLCC, very large crude carriers. They required for mid-range tanker. They required for large range tankers. There is a requirement of 12 months of rank experience, and contract period will be 4 plus minus, and joining will be very soon. So share your CV today itself. Let's move ahead with our next job opening for second engineer is Ocean One Ship Management required for their oil and chemical tanker. Oil and chemical tanker experience is mandatory over here. Let's move it. Then Columbia Order Ship Management required second year for their container ships. Relevant experience is mandatory over here. Columbia Order Ship Management required second year for their gas carriers. Relevant experience is mandatory. Kiva Shipping LLP required second year for their car carrier. Experience on ME engine they required, and they required Indian COC. If you have, so share your CV by today itself. Joining will be very soon. Salary and vessel details to be discussed during the interview. So you can negotiate also here while interview. Let's move ahead with our NAS Maritime. So they require second year for their Handymax bulk carrier. Minimum 4 months of rank experience is mandatory over here. Whitelisted COC means Indian and UK they require. Then so these are the job opening for second engineer today. Let's move on to our next rank, that is third engineer job opening. VSM Bernard Sulte Ship Management required third engineer for their VLGC, VLCC, MR, LR tankers. 8 months of rank expense is mandatory over here, and duration contract period will be for third engineer will be 5 plus minus. March 2025 will be the joining date for you. Synergy Manning required third engineer for their oil and chemical tanker. 12 month of rank experience is mandatory over here with USC 1D visa, class 2 certificate, as well as joining will be within February or before March. Admiral Marine Service Private Limited required third engineer for their bulk carrier takeover vessel. Columbia Order Ship Management required third engineer for their container ship. Columbia Order Ship Management required third engineer for their gas carriers. So these are the job openings today. So share your CV today itself. For sharing your CV, what you have to do? You need to go through our WhatsApp channel, Merchant Navy Job Dates. Let's move ahead with our fourth engineer's job opening. So Sea Scout Global Private Limited required chief engineer. They required for fourth engineer also for their gear bulk carrier. 12 to 18 months of rank experience mandatory over here. Bernard Sulte Ship Management required fourth engineer for their gas carrier for their oil tankers like VLCC, MR or LR tankers. 8 months of rank experience is mandatory as a fourth engineer. 5 plus minus contract period will be there. Then Synergy Manning required fourth engineer for their oil and chemical tanker. 12 plus month rank experience is mandatory over here with USC 1D visa. ABB Ship Management required fourth engineer for their oil and chemical tanker. 2 full contracts required over here for joining these ships. White COC is accepted. Then Admiral Marine Service Private Limited required fourth engineer for their bulk carrier takeover vessel. Relevant rank expenses required here, and they required Indian and UK COC acceptable over here. Then NAS Maritime required fourth engineer for their Handymax bulk carrier for and experience they required 8 months of rank experience as fourth engineer on Handymax bulk carriers. Handymax on bulk carrier ships. They required Indian COC. So these are the job openings for fourth engineer today. There is no opening for freshers. Let's move ahead with our ETO job opening. For ETO, there is one opening today in Columbia Order Ship Management for container vessel. Relevant experience also they required. Let's move ahead with our next job opening, that is for ratings. What are the job opening for ratings? So Burkhan Shipping required general steward for GS, MOL, oil chemical. They required for their oil chemical vessel 6 months of rank experience is mandatory over here with USC 1D visa. Then NAS Maritime required able seaman for their Handymax bulk carrier. Minimum 4 months of rank experience is mandatory over here. These are the only 2 openings today. Will come with more such updates by tomorrow. So subscribe our channel by today itself. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Jai Mata Di. We'll meet you in the next video with next such updates. और प्लीज कमेंट बिलो कि क्या क्या रिक्वायरमेंट्स क्या क्या फीडबैक और किस टाइप की वीडियो हम लोग बना के डालें. जय हिंद, जय भारत, जय माता.